So what is the odds of these brothers being attacked? And you say that it's not by design. You tell me that Mark Zuckerberg is not a freak? You tell me that Jeff Bezos is not a freak? Elon Musk is not a freak? You tell me that all of the billionaires in the world is just these three specific African Americans that is being alleged as freaks.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Real life street stars, hold on. We got a situation right now, and he's come back in, the original, the only Pimpin' Kid. What's good with you, play?
What's up, man? Everything good, man. Just pushing this hip-hop fraternity, man, traveling around the country. I hadn't been to about 8, 9 states since I last saw you. I only slept in my bed like 3 days in the whole 6 months.
Oh, man, and I mean, you're looking dapper. You got HH, is that a new piece? New drip?
Yeah, well, thanks to my jeweler, Father Divine and Gold Creation, they had to make the first hip-hop fraternity custom HHF piece.
Oh, that's nice. No, that says that behind the lights. That's beautiful. And of course, you got the mauve on. I don't want to call it pink. They call it mauve. Or at least Jay-Z coined it mauve, as you know.
Oh yeah, this is the HHF clothing. So we just coming to represent the entire brand of hip hop fraternity.
Man.
And these are they some designers. I don't want to let niggas know what they is because I don't want niggas to bite, but they got gated on the top part.
Oh yeah, no,
they swave and gated. So a lot of niggas don't wear the whole gator no more, but you got to have a little bit of gator in there somewhere.
Oh man, come on! And real quick, before we even get into the reason for the season, you had posted something the other day that kind of shook a nerve, man. You said Bishop Magic Don Juan had lost a leg.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to Bishop Don Juan and the Campbell family. That's his last name. And we want to shout out to Reverend Seymour. He told me that Bishop Don Juan unfortunately had his leg amputated. To Bishop Don Magic Juan, all that he gave to this game, all that he did for us, he inspired me as a young man. I met him when I was a very young man. I was in my late 20s, and he was able to inspire me to become the man that I am today. Being able to get in front of these cameras and being able to market and promote myself and become a famous player. Oh, yeah. That's what they called themselves when I first met them. They was called famous players. And they inducted me in the Famous Player Hall of Fame. They gave me a card, a player's card and stuff like that. I was very young and very ambitious, and we did a movie called The Pimp Stuff Holds Down Together in American Pimp. We did a press conference in New York where we had every press and every media from all over the world. And I was a little nervous, and Bishop was like, man, just be yourself, Kenny Ivy. That's how Bishop talked. Those who know how he talked. And so that was my first time in front of a bunch of cameras, and Bishop kind of aided me through it. I know one time, they said I said something about the church, but I was trying to explain that my mother was a Christian, and that's why I didn't use the word church, but now I use it, because I don't see nothing wrong with it. And Bishop came to my house, and Bishop insisted that I gave him a donation, because he said, ain't no nation like a donation. I gave him a donation live on camera at my baby mansion in Menominee Falls. We had a great feast for him and Kenny Red and Pinky the porn star and
Little Pinky,
what's his name? Richie Rich. All of them came to my crib, out there in Menominee Falls, and we had a great time. So that's how I kind of met Bishop, and we kind of been knowing each other over the last 30 years.
The legacy of Bishop Magic Don Juan. What do you think the legacy he'll leave? Because again, in America, we're a capitalist country to where, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And, it's kind of get it how you live. Well, and he really came in and got it out the mud.
I think his legacy would be primarily connecting God with the game. Bishop always used to say, keep God first. And I think that inspired a lot of us out there that thought that we was doing the devil's work that, you know, God don't get in the mix. You know, we ain't putting God in there. And Bishop was the opposite. He said, wherever you go, take God with you. You know, even when you're out there in the game, take God with you. So that was one of the things that I think that a lot of players was inspired by. That's how he became the Archbishop Don Juan and Kenny Red and so many great men, Good Game and Juju and Michael Monroy and, you know, Reverend Seymour, my cousin, G Gov, all them, you know, was up under that school. Rhodey Mack, you know, I mean, it was just so many. King Boo, may he rest in peace. Man, King Bean, may he rest in peace. It was just so many people that was under Bishop's school, I thought. So that was his legacy, I believe. And the fact that he taught us how to merge celebrity with the game. You know, so once he started messing with Snoop Dogg and, you know, and mess with Crucial Conflict and the dudes, If You Want to Ride.
Do or Die.
Do or Die, all them, you know, that was all Bishop. You know, he was the first one, him and a brother named Sir Captain down there in Mississippi. They were the ones that really merged the hip hop community with the game. And I just took it to the next level, you know, and did songs with Jermaine Dupri and 50 Cent and Little John and Mac 10. You know, I just took it to the next level. And you know, fortunately, you know, that all came from Bishop.
Right. How close is a pimp to God?
No difference than anybody else. God don't have no respect to person. God said he reigned on the just as well as the unjust. You know, God said your gift is without repentance. So no matter who you are, what you are, you know, God, you know, has your back. You know, that's why I always tell people when they say, "Can you bless?" I said, well, you know, favor ain't my fault. You got a problem with me being favored, take it up with the man upstairs.
Right.
So God always, you know, blesses men. You know, he blesses who he may. You know, God's a merciful God, man. You know, and most preachers, believe it or not, are ex-pimps.
Right. Makes sense. Did you ever feel like sinful back in the game, back in the day when you was doing your thing? Did you ever feel?
Of course. Yeah, because I come from a Christian background. My mama was a Christian. So she taught us about sin. She said we were shaped in sin. She said we were formed in iniquity and shaped in sin. So, you know, she kind of broke it down to us like, you know, anything you do that's not right and that's wrong, that's sin. You know, so it's like sin mean if you take an arrow and you point at the bullseye, and when the arrow don't go to the bullseye and it go away, that's called sin. That's what the word sin means. It means to go astray.
Right.
So at what point did you feel sinful? Was it more so when a female was giving you her money, or when you sent them out there to get the money, or when you spent it on whatever you wanted and not gave any back to her? At what point
every time I sent a bra out the door, I had buyer's remorse. I felt like, you know, I was committing to sin. I felt like God was looking down on me. But I was like, well, maybe he might be winking at my wrongdoing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe God might be giving me a chance and let me get it off. And I'd be like, Lord, just give me one more chance. Just let me break one more hole. And I promise you, I'm going to get out the game.
Just the last one.
The last one. It's like my man used to say, man, it's my last key. I ain't selling no more dope. You know, and that's how you feel, man, when you out there, you know you're doing wrong, and you know that on either side, this is not righteous.
Right. In the game, did you ever come across women with mental issues? And if so, what was the hardest to deal with?
Well, every person in the game, male and female, you know, like I spoke on your show about me being molested by my babysitter, how she molested me at 3 years old. Well, a lot of women get molested too. You know, we come up in an environment where it's a lot of killing, it's a lot of shooting, it's a lot of gang banging, you know, it's a lot of, you know, fathers raping daughters, it's a lot of brothers raping daughters, it's a lot of young women sleeping with older men, and because they're hungry, their mama, you know, for some reasons on crack, their dad and left them and so on and so forth. This is the reality of the hood. Nobody in the hood, you, me, none of us is sane. We all crazy on some level because we witnessing things that are not healthy for the child and for the upbringing. So a lot of times, you know, when you out there, you see dudes that's really out there in the game, that's really gang banging, that's really selling dope, that's really pimping. You know, they got post-traumatic stress disorder. They got some things inside them that cause them to act impulsively and cause them to don't have a I don't give a F mentality, you know. So, and I think primarily, especially with women, you know, more so than anything, because when a woman get raped or she get her virginity taken and it's not taken by, say, a boyfriend or a future husband, then she feels in her mind that her body becomes a weapon. She weaponizes her coochie, and now she's making men pay for it. You know the broad that you run up to, say, "What's up, mom? You look good." And she say, "Oh, I ain't nothing up. What's up? You got some money?" Right. You know, they very blatant. They're very blunt. They'll let you know they want some money because they understood that, you know, that uncle that was raping them, he was not only just raping them, he was also offering her candy, giving her money to keep her mouth shut. So right. She understands the value of her vagina at a very, very young age, and she perpetrate that on society. And then the men, you know, who more than likely may have been the type of dude that wasn't a woman, he'd have a lot of women when he was young. You know, he couldn't get the girls. You know, the girls didn't like him. And then all of a sudden, he get him a bag, or he get him some game, he get him some Gators, he get him some Gucci, he get him some, you know, some fly whips and stuff like that. Now he realized that this materialistic stuff have value. So now he's using that, you know, to get the women. And then when the women want to get with him, he said, "Yeah, you know, look, you know, you want to get with some of this ism, you know, you want to ride around slick with me, baby, you know, you got to do something. You get in, you got to get in, you know, right. You got to choose up or choose down." And, you know, that becomes the mentality. But each one of them are functioning at a certain level of dysfunctionalism. You know what I'm saying? Right. Everybody is a little crazy in the game.
Right. So we go on our IGs and they're flooded with Jay-Z being accused of sexual assault. Mm-hmm. How'd you feel when you seen that?
Well, my first thought is, first of all, you got to envision Jay-Z, what he represents to the culture, you know, what he have done for us, how we, you know, when he told us to stop wearing jerseys and wear button-ups, we took the jerseys. He told us to stop drinking Cristal and start drinking Ace of Spades. We did the Ace of Spades. He said we don't wear regular, we wear Cloaky glasses. You know, we did everything Jay-Z said. He's been very impactful on the culture, so you don't see him in that capacity. So my partner asked me, do I think he did it? I told him no. He said, "Why?" I said, "Because he don't seem like the type of dude that would show his penis to another man and another woman and expose himself to that amount of negligence. It just don't seem like he's that type of person to me." Right. Now, did he do it? I don't know. Is it possible? Of course. Anything is possible.
What's your relationship with Jay-Z as far as how many encounters y'all had, or what business have y'all done?
We're going to bring that up, okay.
Got to, we got to bring it back once again.
I got to tell, I told it on Man Hoffa show, so I got to say it. So I first met Jay-Z, we was booked for a show together. We was booked in Atlanta, Georgia at the Atrium. Jay-Z wasn't the Jay-Z that y'all know today. He was on the come up. Only album he had out at that time was Reasonable Doubt. This was in 96. So while we at the concert, you know, I'm talking my Pimp talk, and Jay-Z was just laughing. He was really enjoying it. So I seen him again in Milwaukee. So we had a lady named Andrea, or whatever her name was. She's like the radio host. She wanted to take a picture with Jay-Z so bad that she knew that I had a relationship with Jay-Z, and she knew that Jay-Z was kicking it with me. So I had a partner that was there too. So my partner, he's a street dude. He's a gangster, and I ain't gonna say what gang he controlled, but he controlled a big gang in Milwaukee. And so he had this mentality like, man, you know, man, ain't no groupie ass nigga, you know what I'm saying, man? You know, woo the woo. So he told Jay-Z people that. Jay-Z thought I said it. So he came out, and if you look at my book, if you go get my book, Pimpology 48 Laws of Gang, you'll see that's the picture that I took. And you see Jay-Z kind of got like a mean mug on his face, but I didn't know it was a mean mug until I went on tour with 50 Cent. So I was on tour with the Rock the Mic tour, and I was just, you know, going with Sha Money had me going to the tour. So we in Chicago, I go to the thing, and I say, Jay-Z, and I said, "Jay, what's up?" He looked at me like a mafia boss. "What's up?" I said, "Man, what's wrong with Jay-Z? This dude look crazy, man." Hey. You know what I'm saying? So I said, "Man, what's happening, man?" He said, he told the kid, "Let him come here." He said, "Man, I got a memory like an elephant. I never forget what you done." And I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? So, I'm from Milwaukee, so I got a gangster mentality. I said, man, these New York niggas might try to jump me. Let me get up out of here.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, it's old and popping. He got everybody there with him. So I'm like, if he feel that way, how they feel? So I brought him up out of there. I gave 50 Cent down the deuces, and I told my niggas, I said, man, dude tripping, man. I had to get up out of there. So, I haven't seen him since then. I don't know how he feel today. But like I said, man, that was my encounter with Jay-Z. But, because I wanted to work with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Because I've been on everybody's album. He's the only artist of major stature that I didn't work with at some capacity. Mm-hmm. Even if I didn't work with him, like Snoop Dogg, he got a whole song about me. He talk about me, Nelly talk about me, his music. So either they talk about me in their music or I work with them. So I want to work with Jay-Z. And that's what I was trying to reach out to him about.
Yeah, has Jay-Z ever put your name in a song that you know of?
No, but I think he kind of slick dissed me one time.
Oh, man.
Because, remember I told you that I said that I don't mess with the church?
Yeah.
I said that in the Source magazine. Yeah. And then when I said that, Bishop came back in the Sister magazine and said something. And then he had a song. He said, yeah, like Bishop Magic Wine Church. You know what I'm saying? So I think that he was telling me like, yeah, nigga, you don't mess with the church, but I mess with the church. You know what I'm saying? I can't, you know when somebody's trying to, say something slick. So I don't know, I might be exaggerating, but I thought he was kind of insinuating, like, yeah.
So let's do it like this, because the conversation around this is almost blasphemy when you hate Jay-Z and Diddy with a 13-year-old girl in a party after the VMAs. Mm-hmm. What they say is there's a picture posted that no, Jay-Z was at a whole nother party at the VMAs. So we're trying to clear his name now that, hey, he wasn't even there. But let's just play, the hypothetical in regards, because some people are understanding, like, how does a 13-year-old girl get to the VMAs and also get to an after party? And I want you to explain, because what we see and what we hear about in the world of, being a player in the pimp world, there are some young ladies who's out here, getting to it, no kind of guidance. And sometimes they're taken advantage of by, let's just say older men or just men who, you see prey. Have you seen from your days coming up in Milwaukee to move around a nation where maybe a 13, 14, 15-year-old girl may pass for an older woman?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I said on another podcast. I said that they got men, transvestites, cross-dressers that look like women. You got real men that if they put on the makeup on, they'll look just like a woman. So imagine a 13-year-old child with makeup on. She's going to look like a woman, and a pretty woman at that. So it depends on the presentation. If they got on makeup and they fix themselves up, of course, they're going to look older. And, in today's society, especially with the crack epidemic and the fentanyl epidemic and heroin epidemic, most of these children are being sold by their parents at 13.
Yeah.
Nobody talk about that. They act like this is abnormal. This is kind of common in the hood. It's a lot of 13-year-old women, young ladies that's getting down in the hood.
Yeah.
They got boyfriends and their mama letting them sleep over there. It's weird, man. It's like really some crazy stuff that's going on in the hood. But because it don't go on in other neighborhoods, it don't go on in the European neighborhood or the white neighborhood, don't go on in the suburbs, it's not as abnormal. You see what I'm saying? It's not, it's normal to us, but it's abnormal to them because they don't see it all the time. But I'm pretty sure if you from the hood, or you've been to the hood, you can see a whole bunch of 13-year-old girls that's walking around the hood, 14, 15, that's doing more than law.
What do you say to the man that wants the 13-year-old child, that is attracted to the 13-year-old child? Because Epstein was actually arrested for having nothing but 12-year-olds giving him massages throughout, after they get off school and stuff.
Well, I would say that if you mess with somebody that's 13, that your mentality got to be the mentality of a 13-year-old woman. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no grown man gonna want no kid. I mean, I don't know about the next man. I just can't have sex with no woman that's a kid or a woman that I don't like. You know, if I'm having sex with you, it's got to be something there that makes me feel attractive to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be attracted to no kid. What can a 13-year-old girl do after we have sex and all that? Then what? You know what I'm saying? What can a 13-year-old kid do for a real man? It's not much he can do for a real man. You know, that's a real man. You know, because you still need her to get up and cook and clean. Can't she do that? You need her to go and take care of your business, wash your laundry. You need her to go and cook you some food. Can she do that? You want her to go and take the car, you know, and get it clean or wash or something. Can she do that? The limitations of dealing with a kid is so, you know, even on the flip side, a woman dealing with a young man. I mean, what can you really get out of that? You know, what are the advantages of dealing with somebody that young other than you have some type of psychological problem? Yeah. And a lot of times I heard that most people that hurt people been hurt. So a lot of people that mess with younger people or kids probably was messed with as a kid, and you know they psychologically is doing to that child what was done to them, and it's not like something that they can really control. It's a mental thing.
Right. So like back in the game, and you know, you was around like a lot of high class people, and you know, was it anybody like back in the gap asking for these special requests of weird desires that no one would talk about?
No, because see, I never, you know, we got a thing in the game, the real seasoned boss players, boss pimps is, man, we don't mess with puppies. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not just underage.
I had tricks. They like to get pins stuck in their penis, right. Kicked in the balls. Whipped with you know.
So like when you see all this stuff coming out
dominatrix,
when you see all this stuff coming out about Diddy, can you see that can you see this happening? Like,
well, it's not strange in our world. It's not strange. Right. We see it all the time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we see freaks because, you know, the girls, when they get through turning these dates, they come on, they tell you all of the freaky stories and all the crazy stuff that transpired. Daddy, you won't believe what this trick just asked me to do. You know, it's a lot of puffies, alleged puffies, or alleged, you know, child molesters, you know, that look for underage women and that like to have sex with underage women because, like I said, you know, it might be, you know, because they feel they can't please a real woman. You know, maybe they feel more secure dealing with a younger woman. That could be, you know, one of the, you know, speculations or whatever, you know. But it's a lot of people, man, believe it or not, that like to deal with younger women, you know. And, you know, it ain't exclusive to P. Diddy.
When you had the ladies, and there was a certain thing that they, or maybe a client wanted them to do, was you ever like, nah, we ain't doing that, or we're not going that way with that?
Oh, well, I would have things that ladies would tell me that, like, one of my brides called me up many years ago. It had to be about 30 years ago, and she said, Daddy, this man want me to boo-boo on him, you know? No. And I said, how much you trying to give you? She said, $1,000.
A shitload.
Yeah, I said, well, you know, I said, hey, man, you know, I'm not going to request that you do it, but, hey, that is $1,000 though, you know. But, you know, I've seen that a lot of, you know, older men, they like to be whooped. They call them dominatrix. They like the women to talk crazy to them and call them all kind of names and kick them in their nuts and stomp on their fingers and stuff like that. There's a lot of sadistic shit that goes on in the game, you know, and it's a lot of sadistic tricks. It's a lot of, you know, Puffy, now they said freaks out. It's a lot of freaks in the world, you know, but the problem that I have, man, is that, now this is something I want to definitely get out.
Yeah, let's address it.
So we got Jay-Z, Kanye, and P. Diddy, three African-American billionaires and several millionaires. But we're going to look at statistics, right? If you go to WinStar right now, you go to the casino, and you say, I bet you 3 African American billionaires is not going to be demonized, destroyed, or discredited in 2024. I bet you that. And they're going to say, well, what you want to bet? I bet $1. What's the payoff? The odds to that is 30 million to 1. We're going to give you $30 million against $1 that this is not going to happen. So what is the odds of these brothers being attacked? And you say that it's not by design. You tell me that Mark Zuckerberg is not a freak? You tell me that Jeff Bezos is not a freak? Elon Musk is not a freak? You tell me that all of the billionaires in the world is just these 3 specific African Americans that is being alleged as freaks. You know, you tell me that R. Kelly is the only singer that's a freak, that Bill Cosby is the only actor and producer and director that's a freak. Now, I know we say, well, we gave you Harvey Weinstein and Epstein, but it is ironic to me that these 3 billionaires, and then you look at Young Thug, you look at Dirt, and you look at all these other crimes against rappers in the hip hop community, you tell me that it's not an attack on the hip hop community. That's why I urge all of the brothers to join the hip hop fraternity and form the alliance that we should have formed a long time ago. So when these brothers had these implications, they have these downfalls, you know, they got a support system, you know, and that's why they doing these brothers like that. And they all billionaires because they not connected directly with the community, you know, because it's cool to go and invest in all these different companies and work with all these different powerful entities. But at the same time, when something happens, the first thing they do is they drop you.
We had a guest yesterday, Body Bio. He came in and he spoke on, because they are billionaires, they are black, but they are more flamboyant than some of the other billionaires like the Mark Zuckerbergs or the Elon Musk. They are more put it in your people's face. You know how black people do, you know, these are rappers we're talking about mostly. Because they're more flamboyant with their billions, that is why the stigma comes back on them so hard that, yes, they do these things. Can I get your thoughts on that?
But just type in billionaires on YouTube, and you're going to see that Jay-Z now is no more flamboyant than the white billionaires. They got yachts and airplanes on top of airplanes, 5 or 6 mansions all over the world. You just got to look at it on the right YouTube channel. You got to type in the right algorithms. You know, when you type in the right keywords, then you will see there's a lot of flamboyant white billionaires. It's a lot of freaky white billionaires. The story the Wall Street with the dude, the Wall Street dude, where he was tooting all that cocaine, and it was a show. The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, that was Puffy and Jay-Z on steroids. If you want to allege that they did anything, that wasn't even alleged. This was his true story. So you know, and he was doing all kind of freak offs. So it happens all the time. But like I said, you know, what are the odds? You know, if you went to Vegas and said that 3 black billionaires, Kanye, Jay-Z, and P. Diddy would be discredited, destroyed, or either demonized, then you would have won a heap of money, because that's just not probable. And then, you know, but what our billionaires and our brothers with money need to do is they need to invest in the community. And that's what we're doing. You know, me and Bishop Don Juan, Reverend Simo, Bishop Don right man, we finna do a rehab center, you know, and we finna get off into you know, youth centers and helping the kids out. And that's what these dudes need to start doing, man. You know, they got all this money, man. You know, we got all these Arabs, we got these beauty supply stores, these Asians, all these people in our community. You mean to tell me that all this money that our brothers and sisters is getting in this hip hop community, we can't take that money and invest it in beauty salons, we can't invest it in nail shops, we can't invest it in Chinese restaurants or either restaurants that sell shrimp fried rice. You know, you don't got to be Chinese to sell it. You know, we can't invest in gas stations, we can't invest in hotels. Until we start looking at it from that angle, we'll never have a support system. You know, no one is there to support them, or everybody is cheering for their downfall, because, you know, they taking the money and they moving and they invested in the wrong stuff. You know, Ciroc and all these different people, man.
Yeah, but they have, you know, it says that they have invested in Houston, what's it called? Like Red Cross and different things like that. Like they invest millions of dollars and stuff like that. But what you're trying to say is like it's certain things that they need to invest in, like
Well, if you invest in Uber, right,
right,
or you invest in Louis Vuitton and Hennessy, which is some of the business that JC invested in, you're helping the owners of those companies, right?
right,
You know, you're helping to build their communities. You know, it's an old saying that we spend only 2% of our wealth back with our own community. That
right.
98% of that money goes and we invest it and spend it with other communities. So when you see Louis Vuitton doing well, that means that they're living off 100% of their money and 98% of ours.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So if you got that kind of wealth, if you got billions of dollars, you should instinctively invest in your community, because in a time of war or a time of betrayal, I guarantee you, if they have to pick a side, they're gonna pick the white side every time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be standing there alone, and you're gonna try to come to the black side, and the black side is gonna say, "No, get back over there on the white side where you been at." You know, but if you got billions of dollars and millions of dollars and you invested in the community, that's just mentally the right thing to do.
Right.
You know, psychologically, that's the right thing to do. You know, if he invests $1 million in real life street stars, you know, hey, he got an ally.
Yeah,
he got an
facts.
ally in real life street stars. If he invested in It's Up There podcast, he got a ally in Brother Loom. If he invested in Boss Talk, he got an ally in Brother E. If he invested in Big Facts, he got an ally in Banks and DJ 16, DJ Screen. You know, and so on and so forth. Charlemagne and Envy and going down. You know, invest into the community. Put that money back with the people that can support you. So black media would have immediately went out to bat for him, and went out to bat for Puffy, went out to bat for Ye. You know, you got to invest in your community. That's what the hip hop fraternity is about. It's a fraternity. We got to create a fraternity, and we got to create a union where we all become a black think tank and we all work in conjunction with one another.
Right, that makes a lot of sense.
So can I ask you, do you feel, and I think you spoke on this before, that they created this new law where, you know, sex trafficking, it used to be literally like kidnapping kids from overseas and putting them in a truck and driving, selling them, you know, across borders. But now they're just saying that sex trafficking is taking someone across state lines to have sex, like, which is technically back in the 80s, 90s, that's a normal thing for any football player, basketball player. You would just fly somebody on a plane, hey, come here. You know, it's just normal, but now they're making it criminal, where they're attacking technically every black celebrity that has probably just entertained any woman to fly. You know, what they used to say, I got flued out, is what the females would say. They're looking at that as, no, that's against the law now.
Well, let me break it down to you, bro. There's always been a referendum or an agenda to destroy the black man, right? And it's always been chess and never checkers. So when they say on 2020 that Cambodians are bringing these young Cambodian women over here, these Philippine women, and they sex trafficking them, and it's human trafficking, we all say, go get them. You know what I'm saying, me? That's wrong. But that's just like the shell game. They make you think that that's what you're looking for. But then when you go up under their number, that ain't even there. It's really over here. And over here, what it is a bunch of young African-American men who all been impressioned, you know, or been pretty much influenced by a culture of hip hop where Snoop Dogg's a pimp, T.I.'s Pimp Squad Clique, 50 Cent PIMP, everybody pimping Ken, pimps up, hoes down, everybody's screaming pimping. So everybody want to be a pimp now because it's a luxury game. Everybody want to be a pimp. But in reality, they was always aiming to incarcerate the brothers up under human trafficking, but we thought it was for Cambodians. We thought it was for Philippines. It was always to domesticate and make it a law against young African-American men. Are you familiar with the wars that's going on? The Ukraine war and the Palestinian war?
I got surface level knowledge.
So why do you think they go to war? Want me to tell you why? Because of the military-industrial complex. So basically what that means is that every time a bomb is dropped on Palestine or a bomb is dropped on Ukraine or Russia, those bombs have to be replenished. Who benefits? Those who are investors in the what? Military-industrial complex. You know, they have stock in these different companies, and that's why they keep going to war. That's why they keep throwing them weapons. You know, you say, well, they
can't stockpile too much.
They say they gave them $100 billion. $100 billion of what? In weaponry, right? And then they say, well, we got to go and we got to get a defense budget to what? Replace those bombs. Who make the money? The people who are the ones that's making the law that know that these bombs have to be replenished. So they whisper to their friends, they whisper to their little cliques, and their cliques go and they invest in stock, military industrial complex, and the same thing with the prison system. We're finna make this law called human trafficking. We finna make this law called sex trafficking, and guess who we're gonna get? We're gonna get all these rappers who import women all the time. You understand me? And we're gonna not only get them, but we're gonna take their money and we're gonna incarcerate them for a long time. So Puffy charge should have never been sex trafficking, should have been trick trafficking. Puffy ain't no pimp, he's a trick. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. I mean, yeah, he said, they tell you, he spent lots of money on oil. You know, that's what tricks do. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no pimp, but they trying to paint him as a pimp because they know all the way back from the 60s with the black exploitation films, the Mac and Pimp Some Hoes Down, all that stuff. The pimp has been demonized. He has been considered public enemy #1. So if they can paint Puffy as a pimp, they know ain't nobody gonna stand by him because don't nobody like a pimp but a pimp and a hoe. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem. The problem is they playing the shell game and, you know, they switching and moving cars and moving balls around and everybody thinks it's all about this and it's really about the demise of, you know, the black man.
So can we just go on record one more time and say Puff Daddy is not a pimp?
Puffy is not a pimp.
Okay.
He said if they would make him look more like a trick, he might.
His charges should have been trick trafficking, not sex trafficking. Yeah. Think about it. Think about it. Puffy ordered sex workers from all over the country. This is how the news song. They all came in. He paid them wealth. He paid them hefty money to have sex. A pimp ain't ordering no sex workers. He's sending sex workers.
And what is that illegal?
That is not illegal because you know why?
What?
Every person on the planet that get married, practically, especially in the black community, they have what we call bachelor's party. And when you have a bachelor party, what do? You order sex workers.
Yes.
So if they was gonna indict Puffy, they would have to indict everybody that got married in the last 100 years and had a bachelor party.
That's facts. So it makes me ask the question then, as far as, do you feel the normal average black man know what the laws are when it comes to human or sex trafficking?
Even if we do know, they're gonna change them at night.
Right. The moment
because let me tell you what. Let me tell you what happened with the human trafficking. So the first thing was it was underage girls, right? And it was force. You know, it's either underage women or force. Then it went from underage women to force to coercion. You know, conning her. You know, tricking her. Then it went from that to, you know, if you got a woman in a strip club and she's hoeing, you're living off the earnings of a prostitute. So every time, you know, they would catch a brother, he said, no, she wasn't selling no pussy, she was just in a strip club. Okay, we got to add that to the law. No, you know what I'm saying, that was dude hoe. So now they got, if you get a woman from another pimp, you know what I'm saying, both of y'all get charged. So they every time we thought that we was beating it and we came up with a solution for the law, they would move the goalpost and they would change the law.
Is there a real way to beat it? Like, how is there a way around it, any way around it, if so?
Well, the only way that I think that somebody can beat anything is to not do it.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the only way you can beat it. Now, if you have a female and she's OnlyFans or she's a dancer, as long as you're not taking her money and as long as she's paying for her own bills or whatever, you know, then you good. You know, I always tell guys that, you know, this is America. So if you got a woman and she's in the game and you own some property and you paying $100,000 a month mortgage, you could charge her $5,000 a month mortgage. You know, that would be $4,000 more than what you are actually paying. You can buy a car from an auction for maybe $20,000. You could sell that car for $60,000 profit. You know, so in that capacity, you know, you would be actually doing a real business transaction as opposed to just give me your money. So you could sell that car to your actual young lady that you're doing business with, you know, because they do it all the time, you know, and that way I think that it would be hard pressed for the Attorney General to give you a case if you renting your apartment for $4,000 or $5,000 instead of, you know, $1,000 what you're actually paying. Or if you got a car, the note is $500 a month, you charging her $3,000 a month. I think that would be within the legal means.
What if this is my girlfriend? What if we go together? Like, what if we're in a relationship?
Well, because of what I said,
Mhm.
because I was trying to explain to you, remember I said military industrial complex?
Yeah.
Well, it's the prison industrial complex too. So
Oh.
even though it's your girlfriend,
Got you.
it's hard to prove that you went pimping on her.
Got you.
So they're gonna say you just using that as a decoy and you know, like a little you know, a cover up.
What if you get married to her?
Well, getting married to her, the way the laws is set up, they gonna still try to use it against you. See, that's the only problem that you have. You got to remember that you're playing their game. In every game, there's rules. So, you know what I mean? You have to know the rules. And I always tell people the best way to beat a human trafficking case is to not get caught up into human trafficking. Now, we know brothers like Sauce Walker, you know, he got a business relationship. He's not selling the woman's body. She's not dancing or anything like that. She's on OnlyFans. Because she's on OnlyFans, you know, and because he's probably her manager or whatever scenario or situation they got, he's able to legally do it and legally talk about it. Because
OnlyFans, you got to have a W-2.
Yeah, as long as he paying taxes, and you know, at one time you used to could pay taxes on pimping, and you know you was good. But see, one thing you got to talk about. Go back to Jay-Z and Puffy, right?
Yeah.
To understand what's really going on within the African American community, you got to understand a guy by the name of Abraham Lincoln. You ever heard of him?
Come on now.
Okay, he freed the slaves in 1865. But from 1865, a 12-year period, it was called Reconstruction. And under that Reconstruction, black men did really well for themselves. Black people became senators and judges and congressmen and so on and so forth. And then after that 12-year period, you had the White Sadistic Council, and you had Jim Crowism. So under Jim Crowism, it's like whites only, blacks, you know, only, and stuff like that. Right. And there was a movie called The Birth of the Nation. They started at that point demonizing and destroying and discrediting the black man because they didn't want the black man to do to them what they done to us.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So the biggest fear of most white people that's in power is that the black man would get in power and he would do to their children what they did to our foreparents. So that's one of the things. So it's always been, whenever a black man reaches a certain prominence, and it starts with what? The first person that got the Puffy case, you know who that was? The first heavyweight champion, Jack Johnson. They hit him with the Mann Act.
Mm.
Go look at it. So it started. So y'all think it's just with Puffy. It's been going on for a long time. You know what I'm saying? The FBI had files on who? Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Yeah. They knew they was gonna kill Malcolm X before they even killed him. They knew, you know, that they was gonna kill Martin Luther King before they killed him. They actually sent files to his wife or him with another woman. So, you know, these folks have always, you know, it's a movie called, y'all need to go check it out. It's called The Black Messiah. It's about Fred Hampton. Yeah. It's really a deep movie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, they fear of the Black Messiah. It goes all the way back to the Bible with King Herod. He said, kill all the babies under 2. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so anytime a black man do something really well in this country, it's a concerted effort amongst certain white supremacists to destroy that black man, because white supremacy is a religion. And the religion is that the white man is superior over the black man. So anytime a black man gets superior, you start seeing, you know, the dominant forces in the white supremacist community start to destroy, discredit, and demonize them. And, you know, and if they don't get them, you know, they're gonna do them so bad
Yeah, they're gonna
that they're
mess
gonna
up
lose a lot of money. You know.
So I have to ask you, when you hear about a freak off lasting for 32 hours and women needing IVs afterwards and having to hire a cleaning crew to come in and clean it up, and that, you know, Puffy will orchestrate these freak offs. You've dealt in this world before. What is that as far as to need an IV 32 hours of nonstop, like we ain't stopping? Like, what do you think that is as
Well,
far
you
as?
know, if a person, you know, like me, you know, if I get really dehydrated, if I urinate a lot, I'm gonna need an IV to deal with dehydration, right? You know, a lot of older people, you know, like I'm 60, right? A lot of people my age, we have to go to the hospital periodically to keep dehydrated, you know, because, you know, you might not be consuming enough fluids. So when you having